2020 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Mekhi Becton.
Going down again. That's Q. Red Williams.
Fighting through contact, fighting through offensive line, being a double team, multiple moves stacked into one, just a play of pure domination. This is actual film, this is actual football talk. It's a football show, we're supposed to talk football, not storylines. And you are listening to the 41st edition of Blitz. As you can see, change the intro a little bit. Might be changing again pretty shortly. If you do watch it, there's a couple players in there who might not be on the team even next year. So I joked about adding Jeff Smith to it last week, but obviously it wasn't as much of a joke as I thought it was because we had a lot of Le'Veon Bell on there, and he got released. So we'll talk about that a little bit. But before I get into all of that, again, try to make this a pretty quick show. It's about 50 plays, so people already tapped out on the season, so I don't want to make it a 4-hour show like I have in the past. 54 plays to be exact. JoeRB31 on Twitter. If you haven't been following me on Twitter, I've been putting up threads of the younger players who may be here in a couple of years. I have threads on Becton, Fant, the bad Darnold, the good Darnold, which I still have yet to put up. I have to put them up like during the bye week. I'll start putting more of these up. Connor McGovern, Crowder, Jeff Smith, Barrios, Herndon, Perryman if he comes back, even though maybe he shouldn't be. We'll see about him. Fado Kasi, Quinn Williams, John Franklin Myers, Huff, Basham, Austin, May, Wesco, like guys who may be here for a little bit. I'm putting up threads on them, so follow me there. We got 1 5-star rating, so I appreciate that. Again, after we get 8 more, I'll choose a random person, get a free t-shirt, maybe a free year subscription. We'll see about that. Other than that, the facial hair, by the way, my work does no shave October, November, December, and I was not blessed with good facial hair, so I want to apologize for that for the next 3 months, but it is what it is. JetX Shop, Joe.Blewett at jetsxfactor.com, Jets with an X if you want to email me about anything, which I have gotten emails in the past. We'll go through this game relatively quickly. Obviously, the Jets losing 30-10. The whole Bell thing. I'm so numb to this stuff that I'm gonna take a look at it through either 2 lenses. I'm hoping it's the latter lens that I will give you. I'm hoping that it's not just Adam Gase having control of the roster and Adam Gase having a bigger say than a guy who is about to get fired should. I'm hoping that Joe Douglas is smart enough to realize that he's not the coach going forward and he's letting coach out the year because he's literally in tank mode. So it's either there's the 2 scenarios where Adam Gase has control of the roster, or has more say in the roster than he should. Obviously, here he's reporting to the Johnsons or to Chris Johnson. So does he have more say than he should? Did he get Balaj? Was he the driving force behind that? Which I'm pretty sure he was. Was he the driving force behind cutting Le'Veon Bell, who obviously came out after the game and liked some tweets that Adam Gase is not using him right? And they should trade him. All this stuff. Adam Gase got pissed off. Came out the next day in the press conference, said basically it's irrelevant about why they traded him. And then Rich Cimini kind of pressed him on it and said, okay, well, don't you think the fans should know, like, big contract, they deserve to know why you guys cut him or whatever, or why it didn't work out. And he said, basically it's irrelevant and it doesn't matter. We're focusing on the game this upcoming Sunday. So he's the biggest asshole you're ever going to meet or ever going to see in your entire life. So that just is what he is. That's expected, but it's either that lens where Gase has a lot more control, which you can go into the deep dark path of, okay, well, if he has that much control over the roster now and they're 0-5 and Chris Johnson came out and said that he has confidence in them. Are they going to rebuild with Adam Gase? I'm telling you right now, if Adam Gase is the coach next year, I'll see you guys. I'll see you guys when he's fired, because I will not be doing that show next year. There's absolutely no way I can do it with another year of Adam Gase. Or the more positive lens is that Joe Douglas saw that he has an $8.5 million injury guarantee for next year. So let's say if in week 12 Bell tears his ACL or tears his Achilles, his $8 million is guaranteed next year, meaning he'll be on the roster next year. They'll be paying him. So Douglas looked at the team. Okay, we're 0-5. A 28, 29-year-old running back's not going to do much for us. We're going to cut him. We're going to not risk that injury guarantee. And while I am ensuring of the tank, which is the positive way to look at it, which I think could be possible. That along, like I said, with him embracing the tank, the only issue with that is you want to surround Darnold with talent around him to see what he is. And cutting Bell is not a good sign for Darnold. That's how I look at that. If anything, you want to surround him with more talent, but getting rid of his best playmaker on offense, I would probably say second best playmaker on offense right now. Because I'd say Crowder, at this point in his career, is a more effective slot receiver than Bell as a running back. So let's say the second best offensive weapon you have, getting rid of him, it's not the best for Darnold's future. And then you hear obviously that I don't know where it came out from. It's probably Gase, but whoever it may be, that the Jets feel like they couldn't get a first-round draft pick for Darnold. Would they trade him at the trade deadline? I have no idea. Should they? No. I think that'd be pretty damn foolish. The issue with that is obviously if you trade him and then you don't finish with the first overall pick, which it seems like the Jets are really probably going to finish their first overall pick. We'll have to be really big Giants fans this weekend. And every time they play a team, Giants fans, Falcons fans, Jaguar fans here. If you don't land that first overall pick, or you do get the first pick and then you're not in love with Fields or Lance, and Lawrence goes back to school, which I really don't think he would. I don't think a quarterback who said he's already going to coming to a team, like I said, with a lot of cap space, a lot of draft picks. I don't think it's going to happen. The Jets are bad, but they're not that bad. Listen, people have went to the Browns before and the Jags, and even the Cardinals, who just got rid of Josh Rosen after a year and things like that. So there's been bad situations before. So I don't think he'll go back to school, but you never know. So that'd be pretty foolish to trade Darnold. You want to see what he is the rest of the year, but getting rid of his second best playmaker is not the best thing towards seeing his full potential. But like I said, that's the two scenarios. Gase has a lot more control than he should, or Douglas sees the writing on the wall. He's embracing the tank, and he doesn't want to pay Bell next year, which we all knew Bell was not going to get paid next year. Bell's salary next year was like $12, $13 million, whatever it is. So we all knew that the Jets were not going to be a rebuilding team with a 29-year-old running back making a ton of money. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. It really doesn't. It's a position that you draft. If you get somebody on a cheap contract, sure, like a Bilal Powell to string along as your second guy, but you don't want to be paying $10+ million for a running back. Obviously, running back is the least valuable position in the NFL. It's easy to see why. It all depends on your offensive line. I think if Bell was a 24-year-old Bell in his prime, he would still not have good numbers behind the offensive line it was last year. Obviously, coaching better coaching would aid in better production in terms of running more, runs he's comfortable with, counters, powers, things like that, where he's less of a zone runner than he is a gap runner. I think he could do zone fine as well. But that would aid him, and obviously him running more routes and being targeted would aid him as well, where people will go towards the targets that he had last year. Okay, well, he had 40, 50 catches, whatever it was. The difference between 40, 50 catches and 35 of them being a check down option, and 40, 50 targets and 35 of them being as a primary read, running routes in the slot versus linebackers, is a completely different ballgame. So you can't just look at 35 catches and say it's the same, depending on what your usage in that concept is. Like I said, check down versus actual primary read is completely different. And he was check down option last year. So I don't really look at those receptions as productive receptions in terms of how he was schemed around in the offense. So we knew he was going to be gone a little bit early. I'm gonna try to look at it in a positive way that Douglas just didn't want to risk the injury guarantee, is embracing the tank. They're keeping Gase here right now because they know they're going to suck and they're just going to let it rot out. But I'm telling you right now, if, like I said, Gase is back, man, we got serious issues, because then we would legitimately be the worst franchise in all of sports, because the Mets are pretty bad. The Knicks have been worse than the Jets the last 20 years, but they keep a coach who's probably going to go 1-15 the next year. I think there's absolutely no way. The Johnsons are, well, at least Woody Johnson we know has heard fan noise before. I don't know how Chris is about it, but there's absolutely no way with Woody Johnson coming back and what's going on with the Jets right now that they're going to keep Adam Gase. Hopefully he gets fired at the bye week. And again, I said it last week. I think I said it last week, or I said on their podcast that it's not even necessarily about trying to win games this year because I don't want to win games. It's about easing the soul, just knowing that Gase is gone because this guy's the biggest joke in the world. So it would ease my mind to know that he's fired, because with him coaching the Jets the next 11 games, you kind of have that thought in the back of your mind, like, is he really going to be here next year? Because I haven't fired him yet. And if he is, that's just, nobody can go to games. And even now, don't buy stuff. Everybody's been saying that on Twitter. Why buy Jets gear right now? There's absolutely no point. You bought it. I'm sure 80% of you who listen to the show, or maybe a little bit less, but bought a Bell jersey. He's gone. Bought an Adam jersey. He's gone. And that was a problem with Adam Gase coming here. We heard that he's going to chase the best guys out of town. Bell, probably the best guy on our team when he came here, or Adams, either one or two. Mosley could be three, you argue, whatever. But Adams gone. Bell gone. Mosley, let's be serious. In my opinion, and this is might be reaching a little bit, if the Jets were a playoff team, is he opting out for the COVID year? Maybe not. Is that unfair to even question that? Maybe, but that's just my gut feeling is that he saw this team and was like, nah, I'm not. Especially with it being right after Jamal Adams got traded, he's like, nope, not about it this year. So I'm going to take my free year, opt out, come back. Hopefully, when the Jets are a little bit better. Robbie Anderson wasn't chased out, but he's not here anymore. Like all the bets, even Leonard Williams to a certain extent. Leonard Williams was one of the top 10 players when he came here. He's got traded. Like the roster is barren right now. So Dolphins fans warned us. He came here. He's destroying the roster. Joe Douglas, I think it's the problem of Gase wanting to win now, running guys like Gore out there. And, obviously Joe Douglas being here for the long-term rebuild. So we'll see what happens next year. I think next year is going to be a much better year. Maybe not a playoff year, but I think even next year, if I can guarantee a 7-9, people would take that. And I think with much more talent around Sam, or even a younger quarterback with a lot of talent, with plenty of draft picks and plenty of cap space, I think Joe Douglas is going to start to sign those contracts, those longer contracts. Again, a lot of people will criticize Douglas, and there is some criticism he deserves. One, with what power does he have? Obviously, trading for Balaj would have been a terrible move. 7th round pick or not, it's a bad move to trade for a guy who got cut 3 weeks later. So I don't like that move from him. And was that him, or was that forced on him by ownership, by Gase, whatever? We don't know. But you can criticize him for the wide receiver position, not putting more around Darnold at the wide receiver position. And I agree with that. That is the biggest criticism I have. Some of the statements to the media has been pretty bad. The Jets are looking to compete this year and all this stuff. And then the whole Bell thing, it's just, he's had some bad moments, but I'm not losing faith in Douglas. And a lot of people criticize his free agency moves. Listen, again, whatever the numbers are, the offensive line has been better this year, undoubtedly. That's been his biggest focus. That's a positive. Some of the other moves that people will kill him for, like Desir, he signed him for 1 year, $4 million or $5 million. They killed him for Khalil. He was a contingency plan. I didn't think he was going to be as bad as he was. Letting Jonathan Harrison go, okay, I get it, but I don't think the line would be much better with Harrison right now, to be completely honest. A lot of the free agency signings he's making are guys on 1 year contracts. Now, if he was making signings, and let's say this year was a 3 year, $25 million guaranteed contract with $8 million a year, and this year's playing this bad, yeah, criticize him. But I think he had tried to get stopgap players to hold the fort for a year while he addresses these positions long term. So I'm not going to kill him for the free agency signings that aren't necessarily working, because these are all deals you can get out of for a year. So I don't think people are kind of trying to act like, oh, well, you had a young quarterback, you get Jamal Adams, you should have built around the team and made a playoff run. If you legitimately think that the Jets signing Jadeveon Clowney and Jack Conklin and Logan Ryan, with how bad this team is, could have made a playoff run, you're absolutely mistaken. So he would have doubled down on a bad roster and made it even worse going into the future. So he looked at the roster, realized it was shit, made signings to hold the fort for a year, wiped the slate clean in 2021, and start addressing the team when he can free up cap space from guys like Le'Veon Bell. I'm sure he's hoping like Mosley, but he's still going to be here for a couple of years because of his guarantees and things like that. So, and if you really look at it, who is a long-term corners in free agency? Who is a long-term, guards in free agency? Sheriff, I think, got tagged. Tooney got tagged. So a lot of people say, oh, they should have signed guys for the future. There's not a lot of guys in free agency for the future. It's a lot of draft picks, things like that. So free agency has to be a supplement. But if there are guys in free agency, let's just say a guy like Ngakwe or Juju Smith-Schuster hits free agency and next year he decides to sign, a receiver for $5 million for 1 year, and Juju Smith-Schuster was interested in coming here and he didn't sign him, then yeah, criticize him. But I'm not going to kill him for Pierre Desir signing for 1 year, $5 million. I'm not going to do it. So I think Joe Douglas realizes what this is. And for the fans who think that he should have doubled down and added more talent to this roster and went for it this year because of the rookie quarterback, you're sadly mistaken if you thought the Jets could win the next 2 years. There's just absolutely no way. The roster's barren. So getting into the game, again, I'll make this pretty quick. It's the rest of this year. I can't wait for the website for myself and Sabo and Sam and Nania for when the team is good, because when the team is this bad, obviously people tune out. People are not as interested in watching film breakdowns and all this stuff. So for the people who are going to stick around, who are going to watch all the shows, who are going to watch the live streams, who are going to do all stuff, I appreciate you. But this sucks. Let's just embrace the suck, as they say in my academy and all that stuff that I went through. Embrace the suck, laugh at it. Let's look at the young guys. Duds of the game. Obviously, we're going to start with duds probably 15 times this year. Did the Jets get lucky and win a game? Maybe. Did they not win a game the entire year? It's a very distinct possibility. Looking at their schedule coming up, knowing the schedule, if you have the schedule up or the schedule, the only winnable games I see for the Jets the next 11 weeks, is the Dolphins twice. The Dolphins are a better coach team, just blew out the 49ers, competed with the Patriots, competed with the Bills. Don't think they're going to beat them either time, especially this time going to Miami, especially with Joe Flacco, who played okay. They're not going to beat them. The Chargers, they have Bosa, they have Ingram, they have Herbert, who's lighting it up. They're a better coach team. I think that's the one win that's the most possible is the Chargers, because they could be really good one week and then throw up a stinker. And the only other game I would consider would be the Raiders, but they just beat the freaking Chiefs and they beat the Saints. The Raiders are inconsistent though, so could they win those games? Maybe. Would I bank on any one of those games individually? Nope. I would say if there's going to be one win, it's going to be a stupid Dolphins game or the Chargers sucking really bad. And that's like the only 2 wins I possibly see, to be honest. I really don't think they're going to sweep Miami. So you take out one of those wins, that's 3 possible wins. Really doubt they're going to beat the Raiders. That's 2 possible wins. So maybe you win 2 of those 2, maybe one of those 2. Maybe you go 0-2 in those 2 games I think are winnable. I think for the long-term future, you want to see the Jets compete. You want to see Gase suck to get fired. And you want the Jets to get the first overall pick, regardless of Darnold or not. You want to see them have that first overall pick because it's the most valuable thing right now. There's no point of winning a game or 2. There's just absolutely no point. Third dud of the game. I went with the receiver core in general, the playmakers. I could even throw Bell in here to a certain extent. Bell played okay. And listen, I recorded these plays before he got traded. So if you're going to question me, you're recording bad plays of Bell because he got released, you're again mistaken because I have the timestamps of when these were recorded. But I'm not going to throw him in here. I'll throw a couple plays of him later. But Jeff Smith didn't get open at all. He had just everybody was dropping balls. It was absolutely crazy. Nobody can make plays this week. And this is why these guys are, listen, like when we're watching Jeff Smith, watching Barrios, these are guys who should be, the Jeff Smith, the Vincent Smiths, the Barrioses of the world, the Cagers are guys you can hope can be the 5th, 4th, 6th string receivers, not number 1s and 2s who you're depending on getting open. And these are reasons why where, he actually wins here with a release that he uses like get even and just stabs the inside. It's not a good release. Let's be completely honest. This is not threatening any good cornerback. He's not on his toes. He didn't really eat up ground. He's not using his hands. He just, like I said, get even, stabs inside and widens out. Look how far he bows the route out. So this is just against a bad corner, which might be, is that Kirkpatrick? I don't know. I do like his hand usage here. It looks like he chops down that arm right there to get by on Kirkpatrick. So good job by him getting open deep, at least at that point. He bows his route out too far and the release is not very good. But the problem with this is, okay, he gets open. The ball hits him right in his forearms and he drops it. So bad play overall. You got open. And look, this is in the NFL. Are you supposed to catch this ball? You're tracking it, you're looking it in, and it hits you in the forearm. Now, did it tip the hand of the corner? Maybe. Should you be able to adjust that ball and catch that ball? Yes. Missed touchdown catch from Jeff Smith. So that was just one big opportunity. Other than that, he had another drop. He wasn't getting open the entire game, so he had a bad game after having a good game with against the Broncos. Herndon was terrible again. Absolutely just brutal. There's plays where he's getting open and things like that, but when the ball gets to him, regardless of him pressing or not, which I know is a big excuse for him right now, is he's pressing to make plays. Okay, pressing or not, you have to hold on to the freaking ball. So, again, here gets open. Looks like the Jets set him on a jerk route right here, which I would say he looks like 88 right there, but it's just folded up jersey. So 89. So jerk route. Good job getting open. Good job reading leverage. Knows if he sits down, this guy's going to shoot inside on him. Gets outside. So good route. Catches the ball, but he's been fumbling and dropping balls as well. And here, okay, well, he was getting tackled, but look how loose the ball is. This is just technique. You got to tuck the ball into your body. This is too loose. No matter how strong you are, if the ball gets punched here, it's going to pop out. It's just too loose from his body. These are things that you need to realize. You're running with the ball. You're getting tackled. You have Patrick Peterson coming up on you. Put two hands on the ball. Doesn't do that. Ball, in my opinion, they say you have to control it after the fumble. Does he have control of this ball? I don't think so. In my opinion, this was a fumble. So should have been a fumble and a recovery, in my opinion, again. But it's not how it happened. So again, not putting the bias aside, I think that was a fumble for him. So another play of him, the drop, which it's a drop, but I'm pretty sure his hand technique was bad here, which happens often with Herndon because he doesn't know how to catch a ball. Again, this is something, if you have been listening to all the shows, with both myself individually, and then I think on the top 25, and even when we did superlatives, that show, I said I thought Chris Herndon was overrated. His rookie year, I thought he had an okay rookie year, but a lot of times he was getting open by design. A lot of open catches. Now I know he had a couple highlight plays versus the Texans, a one-handed catch versus the Packers, but overall, Jets fans thought he was going to be a top 10, top 15 tight end easily, and I always said I thought that was a little bit too high. And look, this is just awful technique. Again, what do I say with the hands? You want the hands, diamond formation, catch the ball. What are his hands doing? They're clapping on the ball. It's as simple as that. So his hands are so freaking far apart that you'd think in the NFL you'd learn how to catch a ball, and he doesn't look the ball in. He goes to run. To the two biggest mistakes, the ball literally hits him in the face. Two biggest mistakes: look the ball in. You learn that in Pee Wee, and have proper hand technique. Your hands are awful right there. How are you going to catch a ball like this? Just based on physics, how this hand, like, how you want diamond, you want the diamond, you want the nose of the ball, the hit in between the diamond, the brim of your hands absorbs the blow, and then your hands naturally fold in, and you catch the ball. What does he do? This terrible, absolutely terrible. So lack of focus and terrible technique. Hits him in the face, drops the ball. He's been awful this year. Barrios too. Like, Barrios didn't get open this game. He had a drop. And again, these are why these guys are backups. Are they number ones, twos, threes, fours going to the future? Probably not. They're the fifth, sixth string guys fighting for roster spots. That's what the Jets are working with right now. He's in a slot right here. He runs the deep over. He eventually, I like his ability to find the soft spot in defenses, especially in scramble drills. So that's a positive. He does do that well. Did it for Darnold a couple times, obviously with the Colts game, with the Niners game. He did it here for Flacco. The problem here is Flacco sees him, puts the ball on him. Should be a touchdown. So there should have been a touchdown to Jeff Smith. There should have been a catch to Herndon there, where that was in the red zone. So that would have made it. They got the first down anyway, a couple of plays later, but should have made it an easier drive. So this could be two touchdowns for Joe Flacco. What happens? Which, again, easiest ball to catch? No, it's not. You have to die for it. But guess what? You're in the NFL. Should the ball squirt through your freaking forearms where you don't get your hands on it? Should you be able to track the ball better than this? My problem with this is he's not even looking the ball into his arms. Where are you looking? So should this be a catch in the NFL? Yes, 100%. Cradle the ball, tuck it into your body, roll. A good receiver, a decent receiver makes this catch. Ball squirts through. Nope. Absolutely brutal. The defense, number 2 dud. I take the same thing every single week. I give the defense and Adam Gase a dud. The defense again kept it relatively shorter this week. A couple plays of them, not going to go with 20 plays like I have in the past of them, but they were just terrible all around. I'll name some guys individually. Desir was bad this year. This play right here. Again, going to be pretty short because I say this stuff all the time. I don't want to break it down frame by frame necessarily, but you're playing in man coverage. Again, what does he do? Like always, I put it out on Twitter. He opens his hips up too soon. Stay over the top, weave. When you're opening up 5 yards before he gets to you, any type of comeback, slant, dig, anything is going to beat you. The only thing you're guarding against right here is a post, a corner, and a 9 route. What happens? Receiver breaks back, catches the ball. He opens up way too soon. Easy catch. The receiver catches the ball with him not within 5 yards. Way too easy. Edmonds touchdown run. A couple things here. And other people have pointed this out, and Sabo did this. I think an article on this on Jets X Factor. We have an app too. You can download the app. Cardinals ran hurry up. Initially, they didn't have Luvu on the inside. Luvu is 230-pound linebacker. He's a slanted 3. Why? I don't know. You tell me. Now, if this was 3rd and 10 and they were running some type of stunt on the inside and they wanted to have quick penetration into a gap or have him loop around, okay, you can excuse it then because you want the athleticism. On a second and 1 play where they're most likely going to run it, to have him on the inside is you just can't have it. You absolutely cannot have it. He gets double teamed inside zone split. You have Hewitt who presses hard initially, so he's not able to stay over top of this combo block. You want to see him stay more over the top and just kind of contain this run. So he presses too hard. You have Marcus May, whose awareness you'd think would be better at this point. He's following his man, the sifter underneath, who's going to cut block the edge right here. You'd think he'd have better awareness right here to see, okay, well, he's cut blocking, so this is probably a run. To flip his hips and get his eyes on the running back, and he takes another extra step or two. Oh shit! Now it's a run. What were you doing here? What do you think he's doing? He's running a route. May's been bad. Hewitt has some nice plays in the run game overall, but he's not a good linebacker. He's a backup. He shouldn't be playing a ton of snaps. May's late to realize it. Luvu gets completely moved off the ball because he's a 230-pounder at 3 technique, getting combo blocked by a tackle and a guard. Edmonds runs in 30 yard or 29 yard, whatever, touchdown run. Easy. Next, 26-27. May versus read option. Again, 2 guys on the edge. They run read option. What happens? You have 2 guys who collapse inside. 2 who are taking the running back. Especially for May, if the run is going this way, if 93 is going to crash on the edge, the only thing you're really guarding against is the cutback. You're not going to make the play on the running back. What does he do? He runs towards the running back just like Basham is. Even though he gets blocked, he gets sucked in a little bit, but you're not going to make the play here. What do you have to do? Be disciplined, especially with a running quarterback like Murray, guys like Lamar Jackson, guys like Dak Prescott, guys like Deshaun Watson. On a read option play, you can't just let them have the edge. It's not like, oh, he pressed a little bit too much for his hips, but his hips were square and he almost made the play. It was no, he completely overcommitted and he was in the complete wrong here. Murray pulls the ball and runs. Nobody had Murray. Kyler freaking Murray. Nobody thought to guard him and he gets a first down. That's on May. Just lack of mental focus. Jordan Jenkins on the goal line. I think this is the pistol. It's a veer, I believe. Yeah, veer with the arc blocker. Actually, with the kick out and the arc blocker. So you have 2 blockers leading. So for Jordan Jenkins, my problem with him is here. I like that he shuffles down the line of scrimmage and collapses a little bit on the mesh point. My issue here is commit right here to the quarterback. You're not going to make a play on the running back right here. So why does he take that extra second? See that right here? His feet freeze. You're not going to make an impact on the running back. You're not sure if he has the ball or not, but widen out. So his feet stall right here, and then he gets outran. Why are your feet freezing? Take the quarterback. Runs in. Jenkins has a minimal impact this year. Again, thought you had a hit. You thought you had him on a big or on a contract. $5 million, which was great at the time. Let's be honest. I think it was great based on his production last year. But he's been a goner. He hasn't made an impact. He looks like slower this year. He's making strides, and now he's going on a downtrend. Which again, people, it's Gase, it's the coaching, they're losing. Listen, he's fighting for a contract. You gotta ball out. Teams are gonna watch this. Blown coverage, 13 seconds left in the half, where they get down to the 38-yard line. Why? Well, one, it's a blitz, so this side of the field is wide open. Which I get it. You want him to see hot, or if you're the Cardinals, you want to see him to see hot, throw it to Fitzgerald right here. You want to see whoever the safety is a little bit more over the top to contain that. Because listen, there's 13 seconds left. You could play a little bit safe, slot blitz, keep him over the top. If they get to the 45-yard line, who cares? So I'm okay with that. Leave that guy open due to situational awareness, or due to the game and what's happening, the situation, I should say. What happens here is Williamson widens. He has the vertical threat, which is Hopkins. What should he do? 2-1. He should read the 2. He should match the vertical sum of 2. What happens is he spot drops, doesn't match the 2. The 2 gets in behind him on the seam. He gets hit on at the 45-yard line and runs it to the 38. Why does this happen? Because this is how the Jets linebackers play. And this is not necessarily on the Jets linebackers. This is on Greg Williams' coaching, because he teaches spot dropping. He does not teach pattern matching. There's absolutely no way he teaches a 2-1 and all that stuff where it's zone, but it acts like man even more than zone. That doesn't happen. Like I said, 2-1, he should read this, match him vertically, be at least a much tougher throw. Maybe he even he fits it in there. But to leave a guy that open in the seam with 13 seconds left, with this much room to run because he had to stay over the top of the hot read, is a joke. It's a joke. That's it. I'm going to spend a lot of time on this type of stuff. 4 more plays of the defense. 36, 41, 42. Defense so slow. This is just the defense overall being slow. I said the linebackers are slow. This is a hit to DeAndre Hopkins right here. Smoke screen. DeAndre Hopkins sees everybody collapsing on him. You have Basham running in pursuit, which Basham, I get the angle he's taking, but DeAndre Hopkins changes course. Our linebackers have look how locked their hips are. They have no change of direction. Like some of the guys are burst, like they have burst like in a straight line speed, but in terms of change of direction and fluid hips, they just don't have it. Here versus field, Basham misses the tackle. Both these guys have to stop their feet. They can't run back to him. Obviously, Fadokasi and Shepard not expecting it too much, but it is what it is. He reverses field on what should have been a tackle at the line of scrimmage. Reverses field and gets almost the first down. It just does not fail. 30. What did I say? 38. I think I have 41 here. 41. Yeah. Okay. Blown defense, swing pass, 31 yards on a swing pass to the flat. Play action. The tight end over here. So it's not even a swing. So it's just it's not from the running back. He just checks and releases into the flat. Somebody blows their assignment. Most likely it's going to be Jenkins or whoever that is. It's supposed to be in the flat because, well, actually, no, it's not even. unless the linebackers got sucked up so damn bad here that it was a zone defense, or it looks like it most likely is cover one. Whoever this was, most likely it looked like it was Jenkins. Thought he just beat him and just let him release into the flat, throw into the flat, and look how open that flat is. Just play the Jets. It's the bounce back game. You beat a team by 3 touchdowns when you just lost to the Panthers and who else did they lose to? I forget. Panthers and I'm blanking out on the team who they beat the week before that was, who was not a good team, or the team they lost to was not a good team. So listen to the flat and for 31 yards. Trade touchdown run. Now you had no guys on Murray. Now you have 2 guys on Murray. Another read option. Nobody collapses inside. You can see both these guys are to the outside, containing Murray. Nobody gets to the inside. Easy touchdown run. Again, don't want to go into too much detail with some of these plays. It's just this whole team's gonna be new next year. So one more play of the defense, or I'm gonna say at least like there's make 30 new players. Next this year beat. Okay, yeah, this is just simple stuff. Again, we have a positive here of John Franklin Myers, which again we'll get into him, but this year, and I believe this was the play they said on our broadcast. Me and Marcus have talked about it a lot. Alignment situation, you know, it matters. It's not just beat your guy. You know, if they're in tight, they probably want to go outside. If they're out wide, they probably only go inside. In the red zone, you don't want them to get beat inside of you, or you don't want to get beat inside of you. You want to let them go to the outside, make it a harder throw. If it's man, you don't want to let them beat you inside. If it's zone, you want to funnel them into the inside. There's situations where your alignment matters. Here, he's pressed out more wide. Does he want to go to the outside? Probably not. So if he's out so far to the outside, he probably wants to go inside. This year, again, no hands, 2 yards off, no man's land. Hips drop, weight goes back on the heels, no hands on. Quick slant, 1 step, widens them, inside. Beat for the first down on 3rd and 10 on a slant. And that's it for that. Gase. First out of the game, and I'm again numb to it, so I'm not going to go crazy and get all angry and all this stuff. Bell, 13 carries to Gore 9. Gore's 9, joke. Perrine having 0, joke. We have Bell, who wasn't really targeted on any type of route where it wasn't a check down. He had 1 catch this game, which again was Flacco rolling out and him adjusting to it. Where Gore was actually targeted on an in route versus a linebacker, or versus safety. But he was targeted. He was one of the primary reads. They get pass interference, and they got the first down. But regardless, you had Gore who got targeted on a route where Bell did it, which could be Flacco, could be Gase on that play. But the fact that he's just not being used, or he was not being used as a receiver in any type of facet, was an absolute joke. Guys heads down on the sideline, running the ball up the middle on a 2nd and 24, 2 fourth downs in the first quarter. 4th and 1's a team who's 0-4. You think for coaches trying to coach his job, so show some heart, show some balls. What does he do? Punts it. 3rd and 1, fullback dive. It worked in practice, so that's why they did it. I think Wesco had 1 run like in his rookie year that didn't go for any yards. So because it worked in practice, he thought in a big spot in the game going into the green zone that a 3rd and 1 fullback dive was a good call. When you have Le'Veon Bell, you even have Gore, who you run too much. You have Perrine, who's a running back. Why not put one of those guys in at fullback? You've had some of those plays where you have 2 running backs in the backfield. Put Gore at fullback, let him run it. I rather have that. That gets stuffed. There's another 4th down, 4th and 1. Bell, they faked the dive to the fullback and they pitch it out to Bell on 4th and 1, where he's getting the ball 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage, 5 yards, 4 yards, whatever it was, and you're expecting him to outrun the defense who's trying to run him to the sideline. For Bell, who's not an athletic running back, he's a guy you want between the tackles. You don't want him on the outside. Again, 4th and 1. Don't take advantage of his power. You you pitch it like he's Kenyon Drake or one of these faster running backs. Putting the blames on players, I think in terms of like him and the hell's this? I forget what the offensive coordinator's name is now. Whatever, Dow Loggins saying it's about execution, not even the play calls. You should see the way we practice. If fans saw the way we practice and how well we practice, they wouldn't be as mad, and all this stuff is absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't give two shits less about the way we practice. And to me, that could mean that he's trying to kind of put the blame on the players. Well, we're practicing well. Everything's going well in practice, but the execution in the game is just not happening. Like, that's how I look at that. Terrible challenge flag. You had Gore on a pass, whatever it was, run. I don't even care anymore. He clearly runs out a yard behind the yard to gain, and they throw a challenge flag, a waste of timeout. No idea why. You have Bell liking tweets, then he gets traded. So he's all soft and gets hurt by Bell liking tweets. But you also had P. Ryan, who I think should ease up with that stuff, is liking tweets about him getting 0 carries. So maybe they traded P. Ryan now for a 7th round pick because they don't use him anyway. They're going to Gore 25 times this game. And then after the game, people asked why he didn't get any touches. He said he didn't want too much on Perrine's plate. But 3 days later, they asked him again after Bell gets traded, or sorry, I keep saying traded, released. Now Gase is saying it's critical for him to get more touches. So 3 days ago, he didn't want to put too much on his plate, give him 0 carries. 3 days later, now it's critical for him to get more touches. Like how? I don't know. Again, I'm hoping that ownership just sees how bad he is and listen, let's ride out this year, get the number 1 draft pick, sell all those jerseys of Trevor Lawrence, because other than that, I have no idea how this guy is still employed. 3rd and 1, again, some of the play calls. Listen, it would be okay play call if you had a running back or a fullback who actually carried the ball, because he just dives right into the back of Fant on this play. Now people, he could have ran for a touchdown. I don't even care about that. You needed a yard. Could he have taken a lateral step inside and ran off of McGovern's ass right here? I don't even care about the cutbacks. I don't care about anything. Just a step inside and get the yard. Yes, but guess what? He's not used to running the ball, so he just runs straight. Look at this. It's not much I need to put into that. 35-43. Two more plays. We don't need to talk about Gase a lot. We don't. Play call 3rd and 1. Should I have marked this as 4th and 1? Oh, this is the play I was talking about. Yes. Another fake fullback dive. Pitch it to Bell. They need to get to whatever this yard marker is right here. Exactly where they are. He gets the ball again. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 7, 8. Let's say he gets the ball 7 to 8 yards behind where he needs to go, and tries to outrun the defense and gets tackled. This is on 4th and 1. I'm pretty sure. I don't think this is on 3rd and 1. I'm pretty sure it was on 4th. Oh no, it was on 3rd. I'm wrong. Okay, so let me retract that. It was 3rd and 1 when they called this, and then they punted the ball after this. Okay. And this is the play I said Gore runs routes where they actually targeted him. Gore versus safety, runs an in route. He gets targeted, but you have Le'Veon Bell who does not. That's it for the duds. They're all going to be gone hopefully next year. The coaching. I'm not going to be relying on Desir and undrafted rookies to play major snaps, and Hewitt and, let's be honest, Basham I think could be a rotational guy. They should not be playing snaps. Studs, Braden Mann got my 3rd, and that's legitimate too. 6 punts, 279 yards, 46.5 yards per punt, long on 59. 4 of those 6 punts being inside the 20. Great punting game from him. Gave him the 3rd stud. John Franklin Myers, 1 sack, few pressures and a couple hits, gave him the 2nd stud of the game. Again, a guy who is stepping up positive, which there's not a lot of people who are doing better than their original track suggested they would. He is one of those guys, so that's a positive for him for sure. Again, he is the 4-eye tech right here. either like inside zone read option, split, comes off of the ball, tight elbows, hands inside of 64, power, keeps the contact point, sees the running back with the track inside. He's going to drop his hips, spin inside, getting on the tackle of the running back. So good job setting the edge right here. And then reading the running back's track, spin move again because of that power. You have this the offensive lineman trying to get back to him. He spins him, uses the momentum against him. Tackle. Good job by John Franklin Myers. 4th and 34. Okay. It's actually a decent play here from the Jets defense. I think this is the first drive where they actually forced the Cardinals off of the field, which is impressive for the Jets defense. Cover 2, you have McDougald who presses down a little bit, sees the quarterback, in trouble, moving out, sees this guy squirt out and get open down the field in the seam. McDougald actually matches it and gets the pass deflection. That's almost an interception. So actually a decent play by McDougald, recognizing that. John Franklin Myers, again, it doesn't really do too much here. 2 steps hard upfield, Sweezy shoots his hands, double swipe. He sees that Murray is about to scramble to the outside, so good awareness right here. And then, again, decent straight line speed right there to chase him down and forces Murray to throw off his back foot, which, by the way, Murray had a couple of these throws this game that could have been intercepted. Murray did not have a good game this game. I don't care that he threw for 380 yards, his career high. This could have easily been a pick. He had another play on the sideline, which is a pick to Ashton Davis, but there was holding on Hopkins. Like, he did not play well this game. But the Jets are just that bad that if you don't play your best game, you could set your career high for passing yards. That's literally how bad. I don't think there's a worse defense in the league right now. I don't. The secondary is awful. There's no pass rush on the first level, and the linebackers are dreadful. Williamson's okay. I think he'll slowly work himself back into his original form, like we're talking about Pokemon or something like that. But overall they're bad. They're just everything is bad. They have a couple good players. There are a couple players who are building blocks. I think in the future you have John Franklin Myers, or not building blocks, but players to take into the future. And John Franklin Myers might be one of them. But you have him, you have Huff, you have Quentin Williams, you have Fadokasi and Shepard, and Shepard hasn't played well this year. But you have Fadokasi stuff in the middle. Other than those 4 guys, maybe you have Basham and Phillips who are depth pieces but not starters. But other than that, who else do you really have? 4-eye again. And he said and I heard he studied this on tape. They knew Sweezy opened his hips up early and shoots his hands. 2 steps upfield, Sweezy reacts to it, shoots his hands, double swipe, comes over top with a chop just in case he was able to get his inside arm on there to contain him. Runs down the quarterback, sack, and we'll show it in full speed. You see some of the quickness of him. He has really good power and straight line speed. Like he's a solid player for the Jets. And rushing from the interior, he uses that explosion versus these guards. It's nice to see. He's not the most linearly explosive guy, change of direction type guy, but overall, I'm still impressed with him, and he's going to be a guy who's going to be here. I don't know what his contract is, to be completely honest. I'm gonna Google that real quick. John Franklin. Is this great podcasting? No, can I pause right now? Sure, but I'm not going to. John Franklin Myers contract. Oh yeah, okay. So how long is he on the Jets for? Okay, so he's here at least through 2021. $750,000 this year, $920 next year. So he's here at least through next year, and hopefully they extend him if he keeps playing the way he does. Crowder gets my first stud of the game, 8 receptions, 116 yards, 1 touchdowns. Good overall. Obviously some of his stuff was manufactured through actual scheme, which was a positive for Gase, I guess, but who cares? The 150-yard gain was manufactured, didn't really do a lot. Another 15 yards or so were on a screen. So other than that, like he good game regardless. Like, yes, a coach got him open, which congratulations, that's a coach's job. So I'm not going to discredit Crowder too much. He had a really good game. Overall, Crowder's in the slot right here. Byron Murphy throws a rocker step right there. Steps up to get on his toes. which rocker almost looks like a crossover. Fake one way, go the other. 1, head fake 2. Looks like he chops down the inside arm. Yep, arm punches through, chops down the inside arm. Catch, turn upfield, first down. Great slant. It's a great slant. Quick, decisive, good footwork. Presses his toes. Rocker step, 1-2. Arms, looks the ball in, catch, runs upfield. Good play. Crowder route, Fant, McGovern. Where's Crowder? Right here, I think. Yeah, that looks like him. Outside slot. Doesn't get targeted, doesn't get hit right here, but really good route. When you're playing a guy who has so much outside leverage that he's staying so far to the outside, you can try to press him, but it might be ineffective. So just break to the inside. He does that. Stems towards him, widens him out. Just a little bit of a peek technique. Looks inside, selling his eyes that he's going to the inside, like he's reading the safety, so he's going to run a post. Outside, stem inside, look inside. Drop his hips. Stop step. Now, actually, he really just breaks off that foot. So break, drive, line. He doesn't really take a stop step right there. His break step acts as a stop step. So it's more of like a speed out. So this foot is a little bit far outside of his frame in terms of the drive step. But look how tight that step is after it. Look at the line. So you have break, drive, line. The line is still pretty tight for a speed out. Gets open. He's not targeted though, but this is a first down. So good job attacking the leverage, and then with the altered route pace too. You can see how he's there's speed, altered route pace, explodes outside. Good route by him, and I put Fant and McGovern in here too. Yeah, McGovern's been better these last 2 games. Like I said, he's taking steps up in the right direction. Fant, hug technique. 94 gets into his chest. He feels that 94 is leaning hard into him. He's getting bull rushed. What does he do? Hops back in his anchor. Look how far he hops back right here. And because his momentum is going hard into Fant, he rips him down to the ground. He's taking his momentum where it wants to go. Where he's leaning forward. He's off balance. Rips him down. Sits on him to shut down the rush. So good job feeling the bull rush. Then you have Fant. He's on an island. Offensive line slides right in their gap protection. Drag hand. Gets his hand on. Checks 97. Sees 97 bull rushing. Drops low. This is literally his best job you're gonna do, moving somebody with your shoulder into the armpit and your left hand on the hip like this in this situation. Completely moves the guy. So, again, you have some pressure from other places, but good job of those guys. Next play of Crowder, 3 more. 37. 52 yards. Again, this is actually a play that actually works on his defense, which looks to be. It looks to be like it's going to be a cover 3, but the defense gets sucked up so far. We had like curl the flat, and the 2 linebackers that get sucked up. But you have the corner and the deep over, which you're hoping that the deep over carries the third deep corner to open up. Crowder's going to come underneath, which it does. You have that deep over, which you're hopefully going to have to take the deep third the middle third safety, and then obviously the corner's going to hold the deep third over there, which doesn't really matter to this play. The play action fakes out the linebackers. They don't see Crowder leaking out or coming across on the over. You have this, which carries the third and distracts the deep third or the middle third. Crowder, adjust the route vertical, is absolutely wide open. So this is a play that you should make 10 out of 10 times. Jeff Smith would hopefully make it, or Herndon, or whoever, even though they would probably drop the ball. So 52 yards right there on a good design, which is shocking. No, actually, I'm not going to say that. There are some good designs. He's just super bad with the other things. Like I said, Wesco on 3rd and 1 and all this other personnel decisions and Gore and not going 4 on 4th and time management and challenges, things like that. Like his actual schemes aren't the worst things at times, but there's also times where it's 3rd and 2 and he has route concepts. You know, he has routes going 15, 20 yards down the field, not just one to clear out the underneath, but all of them. Like a scissors, he'll run like a scissors concept on 3rd and 2. It makes no sense. And it was funny this game too. He actually, like, it seemed like he was running more play action and more motion, pre-snap motion, into the snap, which is a shocker. Again, a lot of rub type routes. You have a good design right here because Crowder comes in motion, which the cornerback is going to follow him high. He doesn't want the ball to be snapped and then the corner stay low because then he'll be in a lot of traffic right here. So he has to stay high. So good job having him in the backfield, which is a different look. You flex him out. Corner stays high. Safety, whatever he is, stays high. Griffin pushes vertical, which is going to make the corner commit either outside or inside or stay over the top and get up some yards. I'm not sure if he had an option to go inside or outside right here, depending on the corner. Corner stays high. He breaks underneath of the clear out. Catch. Breaks a tackle. He's like really like again, it's good because he's condensed because he's smaller, so he has good center of gravity and balance. Breaks one tackle, guy grabs onto his shirt, breaks another, reaches for the goal line. Great play by Crowder. Good design too, but good. He's been breaking tackles this year. He broke this tackle for this touchdown. He broke the other tackle against the Bills for a touchdown. Good job fighting. And just the smarts to keep his knees up, which is aided a little bit by the DB, gets his hand down and propels himself for the touchdown. Great job by Crowder. Absolutely fantastic. He's been a really, really good slot receiver this year. One more play of him. And we get into the roundup of the good and bad. Crowder route, slot right here. And his feet are just like explosive. Hop step with that right foot. Yep, hop step. Walks it up on him. So he stems inside with the hop step, runs his feet, stems outside. The corner still thinks he might be going vertical. He's again a lot of route manipulation, like stem manipulation with his feet right here. Breaks outside. Nice tight break right here too. Break, drive. Look how tight that step is right there too. Break, drive, getting that under his frame mostly, and then getting his line step right over that. Really, really nice. Beats that corner pretty badly on a short out. Catch, turn up field, run for extra yards. Again, you're getting hop step stemmed inside, then outside, then out. Like it's a lot of manipulation with the route. Good job by Crowder. Moving on from him, bad from the offense. I put Adoga, not the most impressive game at right tackle for him. Obviously, setting up 2 sacks. Overall, didn't play well. There's a couple times he was completely turned around. Run game didn't do too well. He was a good player too, but overall, you give up 2 sacks. It's not a good game. There's a couple of bad plays here. Again, I didn't want to put up 80 plays this game. I only did like 54. So this is not where you want to see your right tackle. So they run a lead outside zone. You have Fant, again, who a guy like Becton can cross his feet over and things like that because of how powerful he is. But Adoga gets caught in a position where he doesn't have great balance, which I would like to see, Greg Van Roten play a little bit longer here and at least get his hand into the shoulder instead of chopping down the inside arm just in case he was a quickly penetrate. That's what it's guarding against. I would like to see him get a hand on the shoulder to stop the momentum. But you have a guy who's not very powerful and Adoga not be able to absorb the contact. Shoulder gets attacked and he's on the ground. Gore cuts back and Adoga's here. His guy is here making a tackle on Gore again. He's a backup swing tackle. I don't think he's a starter. I don't think he's going to develop into a starter. I don't think he has the frame for it. I think he's a little bit weak, which again, don't come at me and say, oh, well, he's a lot stronger than you are. Yeah, no shit. So moving on, Adoga sack. A little bit of a coverage sack, but you can see that he opens his hips up a little bit too early right here. You'd like to see him frame this guy a little bit better. This foot split the outside, or split the inside of the rusher, the wide five, the stand up. So he oversets a little bit, opens his hips up too wide. He compiles the bad with bad right here, shooting two of his hands, shoots both of his hands, which is going to lock his hips out. So his hips are already too far to the outside. Then he shoots his hands high, hips are locked. This is not a powerful position. His lower body is this way, his upper body is turned more inside. So you have the upper body, lower body disconnection. Not a lot of power generated from that. And hand fighting. And then he just bull rushes him inside, sees Flacco going to the outside, changes its direction, and Fant is working all arms. Adoga is working all arms right here. Rusher gets to Flacco for the sack. Next. Last play of Adoga, which this one I'll give him a little bit of a mulligan on. His feet did get tripped up, so you do want to be fair with this stuff, but get into his vertical set. His feet aren't the best right here. They're not the most balanced. Again, you have him trip over the foot of Bell right here, who's looking out. You can see right there that it obviously disrupts his kick slide. So now there's really no power into his base. Completely bull rushed and sacked by this guy who's never had a sack before. But again, he tripped over Bell's foot, so he didn't have a base against a bull rush, which is not a good combination. A little bit of a mulligan, but still got to put it up there. Fant, I would say, struggled more this game. I know he had at some point, I guess he broke his thumb or sprained his thumb or whatever, so I know he's playing injured for part of the game. So again, a little bit of a mulligan, but I would say this was his worst game overall. Again, he's getting used to left tackle and then started playing right tackle. Started getting used to right tackle, started playing left tackle. But overall, again, good signing. Bad game, again, for a guy who's decent. I think having 4 okay to good games and 1 bad game, you're going to take it. This is not an elite tackle. He's a guy who I think could be average for the Jets for the next couple of years until they find his replacement in a year, 2, 3. But he did get beat up a little bit this game by Chandler Jones, who, in terms of the last 3 to 4 years, I think he's the most sacks in the NFL. So he's had more production than both Von Miller, Khalil Mack, Joey Bosa, all these guys. He's been number 1. Thing is here again, he gets he tends to one, I want to see his feet a little bit more balanced, like they're kind of slapping into the ground a little bit too much right here. Hand shoot wide, and he's reaching a little bit. You could see he does reach. Jones times the hands well, double swipe into a rip, turns the corner, and again Flacco gets the ball out quickly. Overthrows Crowder, which Crowder is pretty well covered here, tries to force it, but it is what it is. Not going to kill Flacco for that. But Adoga lets up what would have been a quick hit, quick pressure. 4 more plays of him. 30. All right. A lot of this is getting beat by Chandler Jones, which is understandable. I would see him framing a little bit better right here. So he quick 45-degree set, but at this point, the inside is very open. So I would see him stay a little bit more tight to the inside. Again, outside foot split him. Jones outside, inside, back to the outside. Long arm lands. Left-handed fan actually lands on the on his chest. Swipes it down inside and gets to Flacco for the hit. So again, if you were to frame him a little bit better right here, the left hand is working up against him. If he does swipe it, you can run him up the arc. If he does try to swipe and go to the inside, you're better positioned to guard against the inside because he kind of squares him up. He kind of gives him a two-way go right here in terms of the directions he can go. Again, is why this happens. Not a sack, but gives a pressure. You don't want to see a ton of that. Fant block, Bell hold. Oh, so this might be actually I think this might be a positive one. Yes, it's a positive one. And Bell gets called for the holding right here. You have the line sliding left. Just like a jet protection. The line sliding left, island, him filling in. 2 jets left, I believe, with them sliding left. So I think this is I forget if it's 2 jet or 3 jet. I blank out on some of the terminology sometimes when I'm doing stuff like this, but I think it's just two jet. He fills. Hands go wide, but he gets bull rushed by a linebacker, and he doesn't want to give up the sack, so he holds him. Obviously, the ref sees. I believe it's this ref sees it, throws a flag. But Fant, quick 45-degree set. Good job getting out really, really quickly on the 9 tech. Good job. Really quick feet. Again, hand shoot wider. The rusher gets into his chest, but he's stronger than him. Absorbs the momentum and actually uses the momentum against the rusher. Torques him using circular force, core power. Plants hard off the instep of the left foot. Again, all of this rusher's momentum is going hard to the outside through Fant, so he uses momentum against him. Again, plants and kind of olays him, torques him, using momentum against him, throws him to the ground. Ball was not completed. Fant beat for sack. All right, I think we have 2 more plays of Fant. Yeah, that's just bad. There's really nothing about this one. Left tackle again. Drag hand. He opens up way too soon. He's a step early, reaching for contact. Not a good base, standing pretty straight up. Both hands reaching for contact. Angles outside, inside, hands defeated. Completely beat up right there. He leans way too much right here. Leans and the framing is bad. You want to see him more square to the line of scrimmage. Again, shoot the left hand, right hand comes under. And even if not that, you can run him up the arc. But for you to open your hips up and then shoot 2 hands, not a recipe for success. Face gets crossed, swipes, sack on Flacco. Is that it for Fant? No, one more play. All right. Fant block. I don't know if it's good or bad. It sounds good. Yeah. Okay. Similar to the other to the other plays. Again, I would say he gets a little bit too far to the outside in his 45-degree set right here. He does tend to get guys square to him and not make them rush a hard edge where he gives them a 2-way go a little bit too much. So I think he oversets. Again, hands come wide. So he does get caught in the chest. Bull rush. Again, smaller dude, momentum against him. Throws his feet back. Instep to the left, just like the last one. Torques him to the ground using that circular force and jumps on to finish the play. Flacco throws the ball out. Away. That's it for Fant. Moving on. Let's say bad from the defense. Not a ton more plays. Okay, cool. Linebackers are still slow. Blown coverages. Desir blows. Jackson picked on. Got a couple plays at Jackson. Again, who overall, I think for a undrafted guy relative to expectations, he really didn't play that bad. But for a guy who gave up 2 touchdowns and a ton of yards, got to put him in the bad category. But I'm not. I don't want to make it seem like I'm killing him because I'm not. Again, put in a tough position against DeAndre Hopkins, which is a part of Greg Williams' fault. It's I don't know if it's Desir's comfort level that he always plays on the defense's left side, the offense's right, or what. But I would rather, and Desir is stuck, I know, but he's had successful reps against Hopkins. So you'd think that Lamar Jackson wouldn't be lining up against DeAndre Hopkins the whole game, which is not a recipe for success again. And that's what happens, but beat on an out route. Looks like what you have to be cover 3 again. So he does want to. I'm fine with the shuffle technique. I'm fine with him opening, not necessarily opening this early. I want to see his feet be a little bit more smooth right here. The feet are a little bit clunky right there. And the one thing you do not want to do, again, when you're opening up to the outside like that, is you don't want the guy to get outside of you. So if he is going to stem you outside, you do have to widen, which could be what he's wanting you to do. But if he does stem you outside and break inside, you have help. You're supposed to have help. So he lets him attack the blind spot. Again, right here, he's blind. Out. He has no idea. He speed turns and eventually he sees it, but you can't let him get to the outside of you right here. So if anything, I want to see him be a little bit more patient right here, and that it's not like Hopkins is a burner. So, open up. You can open up, but be a little more patient with the feet, a little bit more control with the feet. Let him get inside of you, funnel him inside, and if he does break to the outside, now he has a barrier to work against instead of him attacking your blind spot and getting out side of you easily, like it was right there. 13. 32, 33. And again, some of these plays that he did actually weren't terrible. This one's not a good play though. This is situational awareness from him that I definitely want to see be better. This is a rookie mistake in my opinion. 12 seconds left in half. No timeouts for the Cardinals. If they're going to throw the ball right here, what are they going to do? They're not going to throw it to the inside because then they're going to have to run up, spike the ball, and they might not even get a playoff. So if anything, they're going to run primary routes to the outside. Again, outside, vertical. So if he gets the ball, runs out of bounds. He gets the ball, runs out of bounds. If it's a deep shot, it's a touchdown. Isolated route on the top of the screen to the boundary. What is he going to do? He's run to the outside. It's just situational stuff. What should Jackson do? If anything, again, cheat to the outside because you know he's probably going to go to the outside. If he does beat you to the inside, then they're probably not going to be able to get a playoff because you're going to assume this takes 4 to 5 seconds. Are they going to be able to get up and spike the ball in 6 seconds? Probably not. So they're probably going to beat you. They're going to try to beat you to the outside. He stays too far off, angled his hips off out inside. He gets beat outside, right to the 29-yard line, catch out of bounds. Again, more patience right here. Cheat outside even more than you're supposed to. Funnel him inside. Let him beat you inside. Not necessarily let him, but if anything, get beat to the inside. Too far off, beats outside. Can't have that. Jackson beat Hopkins, bottom. Again, a lot of this against DeAndre Hopkins. It's one of the best receivers in the NFL. Can't kill him. The one thing I will criticize right here, again, is the no man's land type coverage. And when he stems towards him, again, his base is a little bit too wide right here, and you want to see him creep back, inch back. You don't want to see hops. Again, this whole motion right here, he's not able to react, and he gets his weight onto his heels, momentum going backwards. So you're not going to have power in your jam and your press. Hops, tries to get hands on, but it's not going to be powerful because now you're reaching for contact. Beat in the slant. All right. Okay, 2 more plays of him, I believe. Maybe 3, but at the most 3. I believe this was cover 3. Regardless, he's widening you out, so I just don't like the hips right here. I don't like him opening up his angling his hips off to the inside. I like to see the weave again because he's attacking to the outside. Now you're forced to open. Now you're blind again. So he doesn't know if he's going to stop. He doesn't know if he's going to run a dig where you really widen him out on the dig. It could be a lot of things. So I just don't want to see him open his hips up like this to the inside and let him stem you to the outside and attack that blind spot. That's exactly what he's doing, trying to attack that blind spot. He lets him get into the blind spot. And he hesitates. You see right here, he turns and he's not running full speed, sees Hopkins is going vertical, and then he turns it into the second gear. So because he attacks that blind spot, he lets him get that vertical separation because he was blind for that second. Now, with playing the ball right here, I would say try to play through the receiver more because you do see, and not even necessarily play through the receiver, so you don't want to get the penalty, but because Hopkins is gearing down, I like to see him play Hopkins a little more and gear down as well. You could see him overrun it a little bit. Hopkins attacks the ball, which again hits him in the chest. So if anything, again, notice that he's gearing down right there and slow down as well, and then find the ball. You know, get your hand, get hands. Again, I don't want to see him turn through the ball like this. He's turning into the ball. I want to see him turn through the receiver into the ball, especially if he's gearing down. Loses it, catch. Cover one, touchdown. It was like a weird recording where it did it like that. Okay, no, maybe not. Okay, so we'll start off from here. Bails again, shuffle, gets into his blind spot. Again, with cover one, if he's gonna take you to the sideline like this, keep your hips square. Let him take you to the outside. Oh, hold on, I got a notification. Okay, Bell is signing with the Chiefs. That's something that just came at 7:37 p.m. as recording this. Listen, I don't care about the Jets losing. I care about the Jets, or this year. I care about the Jets losing next year, the next year after that. So if the Jets are going to, if Bell's going to sign with the Dolphins or the Bills, it's going to hurt a little bit more just because in 2021, 2022, he might still be effective. So him signing out of division was the thing I wanted. You heard Chiefs, you heard Dolphins, you heard Bills. I was hoping for the Chiefs. Go play with the Chiefs, win a freaking Super Bowl. Sorry for the Clyde Edwards-Helaire type people. That does suck for you because he's going to get some carries. But going back to this, again, if he's going to widen you out, or you do shuffle, flip your hips, let him get to the outside of you, match him, widen him out, squeeze him to the sideline. But he does not do that, lets him get behind him. Again, because of this, he kind of gears down a little bit, finds him, gets beat vertical. Very similar to the last play where when he finds him, it's not a smooth transition right here. Hopkins tracks the ball, catches it. He plays the ball pretty well right here. In my opinion, let's go back to this. Ashton Davis a little bit late getting over, but there was a vertical stem inside as well for the number 2. So he was guarding against a couple of routes. So I'm not going to kill him here. Good hit. But he does play the ball relatively well right here. Again, a little arm bar right there. Gets his arm over the top so you can't attack the ball. So good job right there. Looking at the ball. But it looks like he goes a little bit lower to high. You want to go high to low. Again, it's a tough position right here when you're trying to track the ball while hand fighting. Plays it but misses it. I'm not going to kill him for that. He actually plays the ball pretty well, and look how hard that catch is. It's not an easy catch. So I'm not going to kill him for that at all. Really, really good job arm barring that. And that's exactly why. You see how he can't go up with two hands? That's a savvy little technique right there that they didn't call, but forces a catch like this. So playing the ball was good. Just this part of the shuffle and not squeeze him to the sideline and get behind you with the not smooth transitions, what let him beat you vertical. Good for Le'Veon Bell, signed with the Chiefs, by the way. Continuing on, Greg Williams can't get the team off of the field on third down. Had Louisville at interior gaps and run plays. We showed that before. Jenkins a little pecked. May playing bad. McDougal hasn't really been showing up minus that one play. Good from the team. Other than the studs, McGovern again played pretty. He played okay. Or played solidly. Let's say a couple plays of him. The run block. Like a tight zone split. Again, because he doesn't have a guy as a 0-1 or even as a 2I, the 10%, the 10, 50, 90 rule for zone plays for the most part. He's going to block back to this guy, or he's going to assist in the combo and then climb. So ricochet, drop this foot, instep, drop her shoulder into this guy, assisting the right guard. Hands on. And now you have number 92, who after that block is going to play the play side hard. He's going to come over the top. So the benefit of zone plays, if he's going to play the right side hard, let him take the right side. He's going to play the left side hard, then take him to the left. Obviously, different guys and different certain runs, you want. That's not necessarily the case where you can take them wherever they want to go. But when you're one of the primary reads for the running back, you can take them wherever they want to go. Now, if you're the backside, it's outside zone. You don't want them to cross your face. Like there's differences. Like, okay, if you're going inside and crossing your face, you don't want them to just take you there. Again, if he's on the backside, that doesn't apply for everything. But on this play, you can take him where he wants to go. Goes inside hard, resets the hand into the ribs, drives him. That's a hole. It's a pretty big hole he just created right there. Again, because if he were to try to maintain the inside leverage right here and not let him go where he wants to go, this is what it would look like, more like this. So he would stay there. Instead, opens up that gap. If he didn't do that, he's running to the back of McGovern. The movement he creates. Ball runs behind him, gets a few yards. Good job by McGovern on that run block. 10-19-45. This is the play where, again, it's an outside zone, I believe, to the left right here, or a pitch, outside zone. This is a play where it's impossible for him to reach this 3-tech. And this is where you see the broadcasters, the people on Twitter, oh, it's McGovern's fault. There's absolutely no world where a center is going to reach a 3 technique when the 3 technique is penetrating up the field. There's just absolutely no way. Whose fault is this? It's Fance. All right, I mean, Jesus, it's Fance. It's Lewis. Lewis needs to play long, keep his hips square, cross shove him, check him, whatever you got to do. Not check him, but cross shove him, stuff him into the A gap, help out McGovern. What does he do? He barely gets a hand on him, and this guy shoots the A gap. There's absolutely no way for McGovern to get there. They're just not. Le'Veon Bell stiff arms him and it gets back to the line of scrimmage instead of a 3-yard loss. But people put this on McGovern. This is not on McGovern. It's on Lewis. Lewis has got to stay in for longer. If he does, then listen. Yeah, does this linebacker maybe get to the outside on Lewis? Yeah, fine. But this you'd have inside or outside leverage on this guy, outside leverage on this guy, and he'd hit the A gap. But again, doesn't stay in long enough, and that's put on McGovern. But it's not McGovern's fault. Two more plays in McGovern. Again, he's starting to do the stuff he did in Denver a little bit. I'm getting more excited about him. And I think going into next year, you have your right tackle who's playing left tackle right here. But you have Fant, who, if he continues his trajectory upwards, he's a decent starter. You have Becton, you have McGovern. Now, I think Van Roten played better this game, and Lewis had played better in the beginning of the year. He's been off the last 2 games, but neither of these guys at guard are long-term starters. I think your center, left tackle, right tackle might be here for a couple of years. You're hoping that Cam Clark, who came back to practice this week, is the answer at one of the other guard spots. And then maybe, in free agency, let's say Clark plays the last 6-7 games. He's pretty good. Then you have one of the guard spots. Go into free agency and you throw a shit ton of money at Joe Thuney, and now you have your offensive line. And maybe you do upgrade. Maybe you take some development pieces for backups and they develop into long-term starters. You take a tackle in the 3rd round who replaces Fant in 2 years. But the offensive line is definitely upgraded, and something moving forward that's a positive. So nothing to block from McGovern. Eyes on the linebackers. Drag hand right. Checks the left. Sees Lewis getting bull rushed a little bit, drops his shoulder, plows him over, takes this guy off his feet. Some pressure allowed from Fant, but runs him up the arc. Flacco, simple step up in the pocket. That's all he has to do, and he actually scrambles. He ran for like 20 yards or whatever this game, which is as much as he did for last year at Denver. So he scrambled more than he ever has, but it's necessary sometimes. Next play of Fant. or McGovern. McGovern actually loses on this play. So, so he's blocking back to the 3-tech, I believe, on this play. Let's see. Okay, yeah. So they one back power. You want to keep obviously inside leverage on this guy. Block him to the backside. He goes a little bit too lateral right here. I want to see more vertical than lateral, or stay more patient. But he gets definitely way too lateral on a flat plane. Guy crosses his face, which is the exact thing you want to guard against. Gets into him, crosses the face of McGovern, and ends up making, getting in on the tackle, which there's a couple of things why this run doesn't work out necessarily. But he is a piece of it. Again, he needs to stay a little more patient, get a little bit more vertical. So he does lose there, but overall, he was a positive. This game is a positive last game, so he's taking steps in the right direction. The only other good from the offense I have is that Greg Van Roten was actually a positive from this game. I don't think he was great, but overall, he was a more positive player. So holes in the run game, question mark. This is the one thing, if you watch all the shows, I said the one thing I like about Van Roten is I think he's a really good puller here. Bucket step, allowing his hips to open, him work across that horizontal plane. Kicking out this edge right here. Really good angle, inside shoulder, tight angle to the inside shoulder. Lands his hands on, instep, climbs him, drives his feet, hands on. Good hole in the run game. Again, did Bell have this last year? No, absolutely not. He did not have this. This is why he had his best yards per carry at 4.5 or whatever it was this game. The offensive line is a big part of that. Good from the defense. A couple plays here, then a couple miscellaneous plays, and then we're done. Williamson, I think, had a better game. Like, he's taking steps up in the right direction, not what he was with the Titans yet, not what he was with the Jets even 2 years ago. Hoping working way back from injury and things like that. The zone drop plays where he's spot dropping doesn't look good, but I think that's more Greg Williamson because that's everybody doing it. It's not just on Williamson. So doing some things he did last year. Tight zone. Williamson reads the running back, sees the running back committing to hit his sides A gap, B gap. Hands on the left tackle or the left guard, which I believe is Pugh. Hands inside, good leverage. Blows up Pugh a little bit, stands him up, widens, sheds, tackle. Good play. This is like classic Avery Williamson taking on offensive linemen, still making tackles on running backs. So I like to see that. Good job having patience, square at the hips, shuffling. Positive play. Hewitt, I think overall, relative to expectations, I think he's been okay. Is he a starter? No, not in my opinion. Double mug. They mug the A gap right here. Again, a lot of guys standing up. Trying to confuse the defense. Some type of twist is coming right here. Or you'd expect it. It actually didn't, which is surprising. You have Huff and Luvu rushing the B gaps, which I do not like against guards. Williamson's trying to pull. The basic design of this is Luvu trying to pull the guard. Yeah, Luvu trying to pull the guard. Williamson trying to pull the center. A gap's open, and Hewitt wants to rush that. You like see him be a little bit more aggressive right here and not ease up. This is only going to be open for a short amount of time if Williamson does drop back and the center realizes it. So you'd like to see him just try to run through Drake, especially a guy who's not very powerful, instead of kind of easing up with his feet. So not the best blitz, but he doesn't get there. Eyes on the quarterback, sees the quarterback's going to load up, gets into his throwing lane, sees the eyes, tips the ball. Williamson finds it, good awareness, picks it off and runs it back to the 10-yard line or whatever it was, and the Jets get a 5-yard delay of game. Because that's the Jets. Something positive happens, something negative has to follow. There's just no way. Huff, didn't make much of an impact this week, but again, relative to expectations, I put a play up of him in here. Where he had a pressure. That's a positive for an undrafted rookie, honestly. Rushes off the left side right here. Tight end checks and releases, gets his hands on. They seem a little bit more ready for the hands right here. And he actually just defeat the hands. He gets caught in the chest right here. It looks like he's going to be ready for the hands, but misses. Caught in the chest. Knows the quarterback's going to throw it soon. He's just not going to try to rush up the arc. Bull rush. Sees the quarterback out the scramble out. Again, the bull rush pops the pads up. Good leverage. Drops his hips. Jerks him down. Corners. Chases down the quarterback who throws up the ball out of bounds. So, positive play. The other guy who I almost put in my studs, 4 plays of him, Quinnen Williams. Games like this and games like the Bills game were probably the most quiet he's been, in my opinion, and maybe even the what's the other game I'm thinking of? The Bills, Colts in this game were okay, where the Niners game and the Broncos game were really good. So he needs to string along more positive or more impactful games consistently, but overall it wasn't bad this game. I thought he was solid. But some of the hidden production he has, again, I have 4 plays of him. Again, quick to penetrate, sees the GT counter. Some people call it counter tray, GT, whatever. The guard and tackle pulling, I call it counter OT. Sees it, quick to penetrate, containment punch from the center, blocking back, throws the rip. You're going to see the rip defeat the elbow. Raises the arm up, bends, almost makes the tackle. But it's a play that widens the running back's track out, and now everybody else gets in the position to make the tackle. So again, if he doesn't do this, is there a situation where maybe he's a little bit more tight and cuts up the A gap or B gap or whatever the hell it is? Yeah. So hidden production right here. Stuff you got to look at. 3 more plays. 1440. Play like this, probably almost a hold, but he is the 2-eye. Rushes, gets double teamed, and a lot of these are containment rushes from a lot of guys. We're not trying to necessarily get to Murray, but trying to contain him more than actual rush him. So that could have been a reason he's a little bit less productive too, because it did happen sometimes for him. Catches a double team, eyes on the backfield. Obviously feels that the line is letting him rush. Knows, okay, you have that. You have the running back who's looking that way. The running back's going to come out on the screen. So good awareness right there. Gets the hand on right there. And was the ball a little bit too far to the outside for the running back to catch? Potentially, but good awareness right here to realize that these guys are trying to get to the outside of you. The running back's breaking out, and they're letting you penetrate. So they want you to penetrate so the screen works. Good job with the recognition. 2 more plays. Run stuff on 3rd and 1. Right here. It's like a loose 3. Again, he's not necessarily a 3. He's not necessarily a 4-eye. He's in the middle. I call that a loose 3. Step inside. Sees a double team coming. Spikes it. Some people refer to it as when you're putting your helmet in between 2 of them. Spikes the double team. Left tackle tries to take it over. Q has some power. Obviously drives off the instep of his outside foot. Drives him inside. Obviously, if he's stepping towards you now, he's trying to get inside leverage. The run's going inside. He feels that. Spikes it. Drives him inside to the B gap. Holding, most likely here. Or holding right there. Tackle on the running back. Last play of Q. Q run stuff again. These are all positive plays. Wide 3 again, or loose 3 again. Honestly, it's a false start from the guard. He's going before the ball is snapped, but it's okay. Q, aggressive step up field. Hands inside. Good leverage, working right through The lower body, the trunk up through his upper body, good. He's linear right here. Explodes through the guard, hands inside, extends him. The guard is not in position right now to block Q. Q is underneath his pads. Once he explodes upwards, gets under the pads, eyes into the backfield, sees the handoff happening. Because he blew him up, he takes the easy track to the inside, sheds him, makes the tackle, run stuff. Decent game for Q. Not the best we've ever seen. It wasn't a 49ers game. It wasn't the Broncos game. Or again, the Broncos game, he had 2 personal fouls. The face mask sucks. It just happens like that at times. And the personal foul I thought was bullshit. He was in his last step when the quarterback threw the ball. Ficken, positive, 1 for 1, 26-yard field goal, extra point. He made his field goals positive. Farley, whatever. 2 really good special teams tackles where he contained what could have been a much bigger return. Positive for him. Miscellaneous plays, I got 4 of them. The first play and the second play of the game are miscellaneous plays. Interesting. Oh, this is just how the game started. It's nothing really crazy. Play action. First play open the game, and everybody's like, "Oh my god!" Of course, you have Flacco on a play action rollout, and Darnold couldn't do this at all. Like they don't do this at all with him. Well, they do sometimes, but not as much as they should. And what happens? Wide open Jeff Smith and Flacco, who hasn't thrown a ball in a while in an actual game, throws it behind him to start off the game. It's like, this is how the game started for the Jets. You're like, they're going to lose. Just literally how it happens. Like after the first play, they're going to lose. Good O-line. Bell needs to break again. Recorded this before Bell got cut. Duo run. These guys working back. Him kicking out. He's going to. I would like to see the design a little bit different here. I don't like with this guy being wide. I should have a check right here. With this guy being wide, the edge. How is he supposed to get to 22? If anything, I would like to see him motion inside and insert. Now maybe they're not doing that because 33 would pinch down a little bit, but he has a hard track to get to 22. But you have Duo. You have good blocking from the O-line. Again, all the leverage they want to have, And good job by Barrios actually here right there. I didn't even realize that until now. Good job diving and attack that hip. I like his grittiness. Like again, adjusting to guys rolling out and how hard he works. Because if he didn't do that, the Bell's getting contacted behind the line of scrimmage. So good job diving. Hell of a play. I didn't realize it until right now. I don't know why. But huge props to Barrios right there. Bell cuts outside of it. But now you have good blocking. Like I said, all the leverage where you want it, you have one guy in the hole. That's obviously you want no guys in the hole. That's ideal. But realistically, coaches want 1 versus 1. Your running back should make a play. What happens? 1 versus 1 in the hole. Bell. They can't break the arm tackle. So you like to see Bell avoid this tackle. However, he's got to do it. This is how it's schemed up. Big gap. You 1 versus 1 in a hole with a safety DB, and he doesn't break it. So you want to see him break that, in my opinion. 18-24, 2 more plays of the review. Positive Wesco play. They run to the right here. Yeah, Wesco and Adogo do good on this play. So Adogo takes like more of that 0 step. Lets Jones, Jones take the outside track if he wants it, because they're going to lead through the B gap. He wants to kick him out. Good leverage. Now he did luck out a little bit here, just in terms of Jones trying to arm over, swim moves, whatever you want to call them. I think they're a little bit different in terms of the actual hand technique. Arm over simple, swim is more involved with more of chops and pull through the arm over. But arm overs, and that's exactly the weakness of arm overs, is your body goes high when you're trying to do that. So your armpit opens up. Armpit opens up, gets under him, drives him outside. Adogo leads the way. Or sorry, not Adogo. He leads the way as well. Wesco, inside track to the shoulder of 59. Blocks him out of the way. Now, this wasn't Bell. I don't know if I said that before, but Gore. But good job by Adogo. Good job by Wesco leading. And Gore gets a pretty much untouched maybe gets contacted a little bit right there, but pretty much an untouched 11 yards. A broken arm tackle or two, but that's about it. Last play. Bell 4th and 1. Meh. This is a play I thought he should have actually converted. You have like I-form twins, whatever you want to call it. I don't really care about formations and what to call them. But the wing set, I-form. You have Wesco leading the way. Now, again, 4th and 1, you have to get to the 12-yard line, or 11 and a half. And I thought that Bell could have gotten this. Again, you just have to get to the 11, let's say. So, in my opinion, he comes to this run pretty high, and I don't necessarily like that he has to jump into a cut right there. You like to see him be ready to cut immediately because of how condensed the field is and how aggressive the defense is going to be shooting. So I think he comes into the handoff a little bit higher here and a little bit too big of steps. You don't want to see this whole coming up, dropping motion to get inside. So I see him take this handoff right here and already be low enough where he can explode. Because if he were to be low enough and explode right here, he can put his head down right here and attack this A gap between, obviously off of McGovern's left ass cheek and just drop his helmet into there and get the first down, in my opinion. But because of his feet are a little bit high and his hips are a little bit high, he has to jump cut into it. And he gets contacted and tackled by a guy who goes low on him to his thighs. But again, if he were to cut here inside, I thought he could have had this first down, in my opinion. Again, this was before he got cut. I'm not just trying to pick out because he got cut. Is he the running back he was with the Steelers? No, not in my opinion. Was he terribly supported last year with an offensive line? Yes. Could he have been a 1,000-yard rusher this year on the Jets with this offensive line and considering healthy and used correctly with 500-600 yards receiving? Yes. Is he a Pro Bowl level running back still? Maybe, maybe not. Still a good running back. But I think he could have made this play at least a little bit easier for himself. So I think he could have converted there. He got pretty close regardless, but he didn't make the play. Moving on, wrapping up the show. Miami game. Do I think they're going to lose? We'll see what I predict. They're a well-coached team. Lots of picks coming up. A lot of space coming up, cap space. Like I said, almost beat the Bills. Competed with a lot of other teams they played. Blew out the Niners last week, who the Jets got blown out by. The roster, Fitzpatrick is hot right now. Is he going to have a bad Fitz game, a good Fitz game? It's the Jets with a bad secondary, bad linebacker. He'll probably have a good Fitz game. Maybe he'll throw a pick, but you never know. Running backs, Gaskin playing well. Howard, okay running back. Breda, speedster. So you have to worry about more of the speed running backs versus the Jets for sure. The receivers are positive and steps up in the right direction for them. Parker was a Adam Gase Freedom Watch type guy, produced more once Adam Gase left. He's a good receiver. Grant, speedster, again, end arounds, jet sweeps with him. Got to worry about it. Preston Williams is a decent go up and get it type guy. Isaiah Ford, decent receiving core. Dissecting, who's going to cover him as a tight end, faster tight end, not too sure. Maybe it's Marcus May, maybe it's not. Again, one of my other issues with Greg Williams' defense right now is clearly Marcus May is not doing very well in the box. He's not. Put him back high. McDougald's not doing well high. Put him back in the box in more man coverage situations. So that's what I said before the season, watching McDougald's film. I was like, okay, I still feel like May's going to be high. He's going to be in the box. Maybe May moves down to the box a little bit more than he did last year because McDougald can play a little bit high. But McDougald's biggest weakness is playing high, and May's biggest weakness is playing in the box, and that's where you're having them play. So who's going to play Gesicki? I don't know. The offensive line, which I believe hasn't given up like any sacks in the last 2 weeks. So they've actually been like steps up in the right direction for them. Jesse Davis, left tackle, left guard Flowers, who's playing better at guard than he did at tackle. He's a bigger guy. Karras is the center. Solomon Kinley is the right guard, and Hunt is the right tackle. Decent offensive line. Not great, not terrible, but they've been doing well the last couple of weeks. The defensive line I think is decent with Raekwon Davis at end and Agba decent. I know their D-tackle Godchucks or Goddux, I think it's Goddux, got hurt, so I'm not sure who's going to play D-tackle for them. Their linebackers are okay. You have Shaq Lawson, outside linebacker, and Van Noy, who are, again, decent outside linebackers. You have decent middle linebackers, but not great coverage guys, Landon Roberts and Jerome Baker. But Adam Gase has good concepts, but he will not adjust his scheme to attack the middle. The secondary is very good. Xavier Howard and Byron Jones are arguably the best 1 and 2 punch at corner in the league. So how are guys like Berrios and Jeff Smith going to get open against him? I don't know if Berrios even plays, because having him on the field with Crowder at the same time is just too hard for Gase to scheme up. Noah Igbenogany, I think is how you pronounce his name, rookie. Whatever, you're not going to see too much of him. And even if you do, he's playing against fifth-string receivers. The safeties, Bobby McCain, Eric Rowe, decent safeties. Again, it's just a decent team. They're decent but well-coached. So that's why they're winning some games and competing. The Jets' injuries, Mims back? I don't think so. It sounds like he's actually starting to practice now and run routes and be in team periods, which is positive, but don't rush him back. He's not going to play this game. Maybe you see him next week against the Bills, but he's not going to play this week. You have Darnold, who's out. You have Becton, who's going to be out. And Mims, who's most likely out. Does Vince Smith come back this game? I don't know. Is Zuniga back this game? I don't know. Is Fant going to be healthy? I think he limited practice today, but I'm pretty sure he broke his thumb, so he'll be playing with that club on his hand. So you do have to account for that. Hogan's going to be out for a couple of weeks. I think he went on IR with the severe ankle sprain that he had last week. How to win for the Jets? I put They're not going to win. They suck. I just don't see them going to Florida and winning. Score prediction, 28-13, Dolphins. Pick'ems, and I was going to say Joe Flacco's playing this week. Pick'ems last week. Only did 4 games. I think it wasn't this week or the week before. Was it this week? Yeah, this week was the week where some people picked the Bucks and the Bears. Just to let people know, because that game was so quick, I put the show on Thursday, and I didn't realize that the show was on Thursday and that game was on Thursday or Wednesday to Thursday, whatever. So some people didn't get to me, so I canceled that game. That doesn't count. So we only did 4 games. Jets or Cardinals at Jets. Cardinals won. Bills at Titans. The Titans blew out the Bills. Thank you to the Titans. They freaking screwed up my parlay. Panthers at Falcons. I picked the Panthers on the show, and I'm going to state this. I'll make sure I state it. On the show, I picked the Falcons. I messaged somebody who is a listener of the show just to have a backup if I needed it. That I changed my pick like 5 minutes before kickoff to the Panthers. So Panthers were my pick there. So I picked the Cardinals. I picked the Bills. The Titans won. I picked the Panthers. The Panthers won. And then I picked the Browns to beat the Colts. The Browns beat the Colts. Records for this week. First place, we have Danny at 16-6. We have second place, Kyle at 15-7. I'll go through the whole rankings right now, I guess. Danny, 16-6, first place. Kyle, second place, 15-7. Myself at third place, I will catch you bastards, 13-9. Marcus and Vinny tied for fourth at 12-10. We have sixth place is going to be Rob at 9, or tied for fifth place. Tied for sixth place is Rob and Matt at 9-13. So first, second, third, tie for fourth, tied for fifth. This week, shit ton of good games. So I picked a lot of games this week. Jets, or we always pick the Jets game. Jets at Dolphins. We're picking the Dolphins. I'm sure all of us are going to pick the Dolphins. Redskins at Giants. The 1-4 Redskins at the 0-5 Giants. I picked the Giants. Bad versus bad, but still should be a good game. I'm worried about the Redskins and their pass rush versus the Giants. So honestly, I feel like they might win the Redskins, but I'm picking this game more of my heart, hoping the Giants get a win for the Jets, a better draft position than my head. So I'm picking the Giants to come out and win against the Redskins right here. The 4-1 Browns against the 4-0 Steelers. The Browns and Baker Mayfield struggle against pass rush. They haven't played a lot of good pass rushing teams. The Steelers are a good pass rushing team, a good run defense. I think the Steelers win at home. The 0-5 Falcons, are they going to break their skid against the 1-4 Vikings? No, I don't think so. The Vikings have been competing the last couple of weeks. The run game's good. You have Kirk Cousins starting to open up a little bit more. I'm picking the Vikings at home, and the 0-6 Falcons. Unfortunately, we want them to win a game or two. Obviously, we want the Falcons, Giants, Jaguars to start winning. But I think the Vikings taking it home. Next game, the 1-3 Lions at the 1-4 Jags. Again, I'm not saying these are the best games of the week, but I'm saying competitive games. I think they're going to be close. I'm going to take the Lions on the road. Matt Stafford versus that defense. I think Stafford's still good. Kenny Galladay, don't see him to be able to guard him on the Jags. So I'm taking the Lions. 4 more games left. The 4-1 Bears at the 3-2 Panthers. Are the Bears a fake 4-1? Maybe. Did they just beat the Bucks? Yes. The Panthers are 3-2, 3 games in a row. Are they going to win at home against the Bears and sort of season 4-2 for one of the teams who's expected to be one of the worst in the league? Close game. I'm riding the wave of the Panthers. I'm taking the Panthers at home against the Bears. Next game, Packers, the 4-0 Packers at the 3-2 Bucks. Bucks are okay. They're good, but they're not one of the top teams in the league. Aaron Rodgers is on absolute fire. I'm taking the Packers at the Bucks. The 4-1 Chiefs against at the 4-1 Bills. Chiefs are going to be pissed off. They just got beat by the Raiders. Haven't lost a game in like whatever it was, like 300 days, or over a year. Actually, I think it was. Or no, it wasn't. Close to a year. They're going to be pissed off. The Bills just got blown out versus the Titans. The Bills are going to want to prove something, but the Chiefs are going to be too much. I'm taking the Chiefs. And now another good game, the 3-2 Cardinals, who just beat the Jets, at the 2-3 Cowboys. Are they going to rally around Andy Dalton? I'm not sure, but the Cardinals are not that good. I think Murray is a little bit overrated. Obviously, last game he wasn't great, but the Cowboys defense is so bad. It's a hard game to pick, but I'm taking the Cowboys. So to wrap up, I got the Dolphins winning against the Jets. I got the Giants over Redskins. I got the Steelers over Browns. I got the Vikings over Falcons. I have the Lions over the Jags. I have the Panthers over the Bears, the Packers over the Bucks, the Chiefs over the Bills, and the Cowboys over the Cardinals. A lot of picks this week. Going to be a lot of movement in the standings this week, I think. Send me your picks. Appreciate everybody for listening. And I'll be back in a couple of days. Hopefully the game is slightly enjoyable, or maybe the Jets get blown out and Adam Gase actually gets fired. We shall see. Have a good one, and thank you for listening.